Revenge films.
My husband cheated on me. From the start, he didn't have particularly handsome looks, and his income wasn't anything impressive. But he's kind and honest, and he's always smiling. That infatuated me, and I married him. We're both working parents, and we have 2 daughters. I worked, did the housework, and brought up the children with his help. But he cheated on me. The girl is a young Miss Anna from our company. Miss A never knew her father, and is probably into older men who are kind to all creatures great and small, like my husband. He was never good with keeping secrets, and I quickly saw that was wrong. I never thought he could actually cheat, but when I asked him out of concern, his attitude was strange through and through. I abode by my shame and asked my friend at the company, who works in surveillance. She introduced me to a reasonable expert, and I had him investigate. Results didn't take long to pour in. My husband and that young girl were very much in love, and no one noticed. They only intended to keep their affair a secret. Just a few photos of them entering and leaving a hotel were enough, but the expert even managed to video them doing it in the car. I was shell-shocked. I was traumatized, and there were also a part of me who didn't want to believe all of this. I wondered how I would interact with him onward, but seeing his silhouette in the front window of his car, moving with rhythm, I couldn't help but laugh at how ridiculous it looked. Thanks to that, I never had much stress about it at all. This isn't to say I had none whatsoever. There was some discord later on, but we smoothly got to the point of a divorce. My children are not at an age to be lied to anymore, one being in high school and the other in middle school. They apparently suspected something was wrong with their father when they were observing me. In the end, I showed my husband the proof of his affair and demanded compensation from the both of them. As a result, I got the compensation, of course, and some of his insubstantial savings, custody over my children, and child support. I actually thought they put up more of a fuss, or say they didn't want to pay, but they were both in high spirits. And
I really am sorry, but our love is...
I'm sorry, but I think I've truly fallen in love with your husband.
Can't remember exactly, but you get the gist. But it seemed to me they were excited that they had this sort of forbidden love between them. They were both thinking it was an obstacle, and that if he had simply divorced me and paid the compensation, they would finally be together. Maybe they were hoping for something like a messy divorce that I refused to accept, but still their love wouldn't break and would become even more pure. Or some nonsense like that. To be honest, my inner feelings were indeed all jumbled up and whatnot. But I look at him now and see an ass that I decided to didn't need anymore. Relations between each other and our family were anything but strained, and I'm not sure what my daughters were thinking of the fact they'd be separated from their father because of his affair. But it seems they don't intend to forgive him for betraying and abandoning his family. What was worse, while they were alone in the house, my daughters just happened to be looking for something, discovered some more proof in the dresser. That confirmed what they thought, and since then they looked at their father with contempt. And so, the divorce was final, and my husband became my ex. Our children were grown already, so there wasn't any substantial difference in our lives, and they started to help me out much more, now that I'm a single mother. My lovely daughters put helping me at the top of their priorities. My eldest would already made dinner by the time I came home, and my youngest would have cleaned the house. When our daughters were born, he was overjoyed because he wanted adorable little girls as his children. But I was never this thankful to have 2 wonderful girls to call my own. My eldest's cooking tasted exactly like mine, and my methodical youngest rendered every nook and cranny spotless. Even though I'd become a single mother, because of my daughters who understood how hard that would be, I was blessed and saved. And with the compensation from the both of them, we're financially secure for the time being. My ex later remarried, but I heard through the grapevine that it was a catastrophe. All things considered, their life together never became what they envisioned, and the girl lost interest especially. Perhaps becoming a regular couple you could just find out walking at the park without much stimulating experiences was what caused her to lose interest. They were very much into each other because I was between them, but after getting married, they never had to keep it a secret anymore. Maybe she had no need of love without obstacles. In the end, the girl ran away back home and later divorced him just like that. One day, my ex was kneeling in front of our front porch for a long time. I asked my children just in case, what should we do?
Leave him.
That was all they said. My youngest never said anything. Whether someone reported him, I'm not sure, but the police stopped by to see if everything was okay. After I told them, we're already divorced and he has his own place to stay. They took him away, probably to where he lives. Well, I do think he's repenting, but I can't forgive the fact that maybe this third eye opened when his second wife left him, and could get back together with me. In other words, if that one vetoes, this one's better. And that's cringe. If you betrayed me and your own children, at least show some sure sign that you're set on never returning. Pathetic. To be honest, I never thought things would last between those two. After I found out about their affair and made my demands,
We'll get over anything that stands in our way.
We'll never drift apart, even if someone tries to break us apart.
I'm sorry. I can't adhere to what you want anymore.
Your children probably hate us, don't they? What with their father being stolen from them?
such things you find in cheesy drama shows were uttered without hull. So I began to think the heat would only last so long before it cooled down to bitter nothingness. That's why I could relate to my ex coming to beg for forgiveness. But what was more vital was that I wasn't going to let him back into a home where his own children look at him contemptuously. Of course, I couldn't forgive myself either. They were all for the divorce after seeing that video, and it must have been a big shock to them. I knew that the bigger the fuss got up, the more it would benefit their cause, so I quickly made legal arrangements for a divorce. What makes this story so funny, though, is that this would make their separation much more imminent. Even after the divorce, I've had countless questions from my daughters, schools, my workplace, and my friends of changing my phone number, but I never changed my contact with my phone company. That's why my ex would call me saying,
Listen to me, please. I beg you. I'll repay anything you want me to. I want to see the girls. Let them hear what I have to say.
Or send abundant apologetic line messages. But I remained emotionless since seeing that video. I wonder, what would my ex say if he found out his children saw that video? If I were him, I would go insane with guilt and embarrassment. Perhaps he just gave up all hope after I blocked his ass. But he disappeared from our lives completely. The house where my daughters live with me I inherited from my grandfather before I was born, so I had no intention of moving. But my ex broke his contract with the apartment he and his ex-wife were living in soon after, and went somewhere else. I didn't really want to know where he went, and I didn't really care, but a chatty relative said, First, he cheats on his wife and abandons his children, but his second marriage didn't last at all, and he couldn't go back to work, so he quit his job, and God knows where he lives right now. Good riddance. Of course, even if I didn't have to appeal to my company about my husband cheating on me, if we were working in the same place, everyone would know, and the two of them married as a result. And if that marriage was doomed, everyone would nod, thinking that would be obvious. I wonder my ex, who lost his second home life and his job, would be thinking right around now. I do believe he regrets everything, since he wants to kneel at our front porch. But then again, cheating often leads to broken lives. Am I right?
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.